Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Commissioner Daniel Kelly, and with the first pick in the inaugural KellyCast draft, there was loads of talent. I could take the midget in the kitchen, the midgets upstairs that are sleeping, the four-legged beast on the couch, but I decided to go with a short little fella named Mike Kelly out of ECC South, #1 overall. Get out here. Mike, for the first time in your life, you've been selected #1 overall. Tell me how that feels.
Give me that. First off, I was not always selected last like you insinuate. Second off, thank God I was selected first overall because I was not coming back tomorrow.
You don't be stealing my microphone on this stage, my friend, okay? All this and more coming up on this week's edition of the KellyCast. What is going on, everybody? And a happy whatever day it is that you're watching this. You know, I don't know when it's going to be edited by future Dan, but it will be coming out. I'm, of course, joined by my man, the #1 draft pick from the KellyCast, Mr. Michael Kelly. How you doing?
I just still can't believe I went #1 overall, man. Still can't believe it. I got tears in my eyes. Hopefully the paychecks come soon. And, of course, we got one more person to introduce, don't we, Dan?
The paychecks might bounce because, it's something like ECW, which I know my co-host knows a little bit about. Mr. Mitchell Smith, my draft expert, the guy who helped me with picks 1 through 10, guy who loves the draft, probably more than all of his friends combined. But Mitch, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm a little happy that Mr. Mike went first overall too. So congratulations, Mr. Mike.
Let's get right into it. I mean, today we are talking Buffalo Bills in terms of the draft and in terms of today, Monday, May 1st. The Buffalo Bills said, hey, we didn't draft a running back, did we?
They did not. They forgot all about that position, I think, didn't they?
Forgot is not the word. So I listened to Brandon Bean talk today on One Bills Live, a Bills produced show. Excuse me. And he said that he was talking to Latavius Murray while the Bills were drafting. And he wasn't talking to Latavius Murray. He was talking to Latavius Murray's agent. And he agreed that he would not take a running back in the draft if Latavius Murray was going to sign with the Bills.
I must have missed that because I was busy working, but that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy that he called him while he was on the clock? Mitch, your thoughts on Latavius Murray's 1-year deal here with Buffalo? I mean, I don't know that he's a lock to make this team, but definitely some veteran leadership, right?
Yeah, definitely some veteran leadership. So the way I look at Latavius Murray, I mean, I watched him when he was with the Saints, and he was great with the Saints. So I'm really happy that that he's a Buffalo Bill, and he could probably bring some leadership to James Cook and Damian Harris, and just hopefully get those two rolling with the 1-2 punch, and hopefully make an impact on the team.
But everyone wants to talk about the draft. I'm not going to let anyone go that much longer without talking about it. The Buffalo Bills in the first round had the 27th pick overall. They said, we ain't waiting. We ain't waiting at all because of the unprecedented run that happened between picks 20 to 24, where for the first time ever, 4 wide receivers went off the board consecutively. Buffalo said, you know what? We need a weapon. We need a pass catcher. And when I think of this man, Mike, I think more of the term weapon than I think of the term of his position, which is tight end. Mm-hmm. Dalton Kincaid, drafted by the Buffalo Bills. What pick was that?
Number 25, right? Number 25. And who got that one pretty right? Said wide receiver above all.
He's a tight end.
Oh, that's right. You got me, didn't you? But guess what? He actually was used more in the slot than he was tight end position.
And, out of Utah, Kincaid was going to be a first-round pick. He fell due to a back injury. But, hey, they jumped Dallas. How do you feel about that?
That is both fantastic and saddening. And
what he could have done for Dak Prescott.
Whirlwind. Yeah, he could have been awesome. But at the same time, they went to another great tight end in this draft, and he's more of a blocking back, but
Okay.
they decided they want to run the ball this year, right?
I guess so. They took one of the shortest players in NFL history. Was it Vaughn? But Kincaid comes over, and I just want to share with you some of the grades from the media before we get into Mitch's thoughts. PFF, who had everything from average to elite was the highest, they gave him the elite grade. Bleacher Report gave them an A. The NFL, A-. And then you see a C from Yahoo and CBS. Now, I saw the draft grade of a C, and I was very confused. So I went in and I read some more information on it. And they said, the Bills already have Dawson Knox. This is unnecessary. La-di-da-di-da. They play the same position, but it's not the same way. It's not the same style. They're not the same player. Mitch, Dalton Kincaid goes to the Buffalo Bills. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, my initial thoughts were I'm very shocked, and that I didn't really know how I was going to feel about selecting him because of the other more pressing needs on the team at the time. But I mean, time will tell. I'm not going to not dislike him right away. Mm-hmm. And I really like the pick.
But if you have 7 picks, not all 7 are going to make your team. Not all 7 are going to be Hall of Famers, anything like that. But let's move on to the Buffalo Bills' second round pick. At number 59, they selected Osiris Torrence. Mitch, your thoughts on the pick of what could possibly be the best guard in this year's draft?
I absolutely love the pick and the value that the Bills sat and waited at round 2 to get this guy. Unbelievable. My thought process was, he's going to go early in the second round. There's no shot we're going to get him. So I completely put him off the draft board at that point. But I'm just people are not taking him. I'm what's going on? I'm is there a concern with him? The only concern is teams weren't looking for just the natural guard spot.
Torrance, you mentioned guard. It's kind of like corner wide receiver. You can never have too many good ones. So they get him. He's out of Florida. Mike didn't allow a sack in college. Not to mention he blocked for he blocked for a scrambling quarterback already. Now he comes to Buffalo, gets a chance to play with Josh Allen. I know you might not have been too excited over a guard, Mike, but your thoughts?
You can't say I might not be too excited because I am excited. That's more protection for my boy, our boy.
You're finally wearing the correct jersey to be showing off to the screen. Congratulations,
absolutely, man. But this guy was, as Mitch said, from what I'm hearing. Of course, as everybody knows, I'm a sleeper on the draft, and apparently this guy was a sleeper.
For sure.
Let's get it.
He was the best guard, depending on your thoughts on Skoronski, whether he plays tackle or guard. But Mitch, one of the things I like about him is that he only played guard, because Buffalo always goes after these guys. Hey, I play every position on the offensive line. We want you to learn this. We want you to learn that. I like the fact that you play one position. The Bills say linebacker is a need. We are going to go for one here. In the third round, Dorian Williams gets drafted, linebacker out of Tulane. He's 6'1". And now, to me, thinking about it logically, 6'1" seems small. I'm taller than 6'1". Okay, so I immediately thought, hey, he's undersized. But then you look at the way the league is really going nowadays, and it's not these tall athletic specimens, other than Tremaine Edmonds, who everybody's going to be compared to because Tremaine Edmonds just left Buffalo. If you come in as a linebacker, that's who somebody's going to measure you up to. But Dorian Williams, not the same size. He is, however, a terrific athlete. Very good on special teams. The Bills addressed the need at linebacker. It looked like they were going best player available, maybe up until this point. How do you feel about the Bills taking a linebacker here in the third round, Mike?
I feel like exactly you said, that they're addressing a potential need. Well, not a potential need, a definite need. But, 3 inches shorter than what they had, and probably a lot less wingspan. So maybe they see him as a project guy, or maybe he doesn't make the team at all. Again, the Bills only had 5 picks after the trade up. So
yeah, but he's good on special teams, and the Bills really put a staple on being good at special teams. Correct. Emphasis. That's the word I'm looking for. Mitch, Dorian Williams comes over to the Bills. Your thoughts?
Well, just to touch on what you said, he's an athlete. So I I was watching the highlights, I was watching the draft, and I was watching his highlights on the TV, and this guy is pure speed. He is a sideline to sideline linebacker, and it's basically they were saying about what you were saying, Dan, is he's basically going to be the Tremaine Edmonds replacement if someone doesn't else beat him out for it.
For Buffalo, I want to get into a draft grade from all three of us. What do you think in terms of total, right? Who the Bills missed on, who the Bills hit on? Obviously, it's way too early to discuss this, but we're doing it anyway because that's just what the internet wants. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see that, however, Michael.
No, don't worry, I got backup, guys.
So I do have some grades from the media and then some grades from ourselves. The NFL gave the Buffalo Bills an A. That's on terms from a D to an A+. They go D, D-, D+, all that, you know. So they gave them an A. PFF gave the Bills an A as well. I'm going to kick us off, and I gave the Bills a B. And the reason I went B, no pluses, no minuses, solid B. I like the Kincaid pick. I think, I really think they wanted receiver. When Jordan Addison went off the board to Minnesota, I took my hat off and threw it across the room because I think that was their last first-round wide receiver on their board, and that's who I think they were really targeting. I'm not upset about the Kincaid pick. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it. So it's one of the reasons I kind of left him up at the high end. I think Torrence, brings you right back up. The fact that he could have been a first-round player, I wanted to make sure that was highlighted. Dorian Williams, a special teams guy. I think special teams is very important in today's NFL. Could decide whether you win or lose a game. And Shorter, I like the upside on him. I couldn't go an A because I just don't know what the Bills coaching staff are going to do with these players. So I went with a B myself. Mitch, grade the Buffalo Bills 2023 NFL draft way too early. We'll go back to this next year and see how right or wrong we are.
So I'm right there with you. I'll give them a B. I like I said, as much as I scratched my head and saw Kincaid get drafted, and more I think about it, I think, you know what? In Brandon Beane we trust. That's what we've been saying ever since he got here. I trust him. All of Buffalo, just trust him. Let's see what he can do.
My grade, I'm going to jump both of you and give an A-. And I'm going to give him an A- for one reason and one reason only, because they went mostly offense in this draft. They finally decided to address the other side of the ball. They've addressed defense.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. I know everybody's been wondering where this video was. It's hard to record sometimes. Me and Mike don't even have working schedules together, and we live in the same house. Not to mention our draft expert who lives 12 years away. So it happens. I hope you enjoyed our analysis. Mitch, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We do appreciate our honorary Kelly. And Mike, as always, say something to the people.
Something to the people.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one, people.